Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Southern Lady, and here is her story. Good afternoon, Ollie. Today is just one of those days. I listened to your channel on a straight binge, and all the stories just dredge up more memories for analysis. The happy birthday video where your mother's belligerent recordings about your then girlfriend, now wife, whipped me into something fierce today. After my first husband left me, my parents openly chose my ex-husband over me. Why? Because he worked for them and my clients liked him. In fact, my parents knew before me that my ex-husband was going to leave me before I got the news. Awesome! Now you get permission. Hey, can I divorce your daughter? Absolutely. She's a twat. You got some great clients. Fuck her. You're just a business decision. There you go. You're just a fucking business decision. Kind of like how the mob does it. But in the mob, the one thing that's protected is your family. You don't bring family into your business. Business decision, right? Made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Years later, when I asked my father what happened and why he knew before I did, he said that my ex-husband wanted to make sure he would still have a job. Wow. And it took you years to ask him? Ask your father? Like, it didn't how is he still working there? I don't know what you expect. Well, he left you. He leaves you and keeps his job with your parents. What the fuck? On their blessing. I don't mean to laugh, but holy shit. Holy shit. I'm not sure if my ex-husband was completely forthcoming to my parents as to why he was leaving me. Who gives a shit? I'm leaving your daughter. Can I still have my job? No. How about no? Sorry, even if my daughter was a lying, cheating, whatever. Sorry, that's still my daughter. It's going to be kind of weird to have you here, Sorry. According to a friend, my ex-husband had been in love for a while with a longtime mutual friend, and since she had broken up with her boyfriend, it was time to jump the shark and see if it would work between them. I've never gotten the full story as to what actually transpired after I was brushed aside. From what I do know is that the mutual friend moved in with my ex-husband and promptly moved out. And my ex-husband, From what I do know is that the mutual friend moved in with my ex-husband and promptly moved out, and she hasn't been seen or heard from since. All right, so she moved in and moved right out. However, all I know is that in December 2007, my ex-husband told me that I had to pack my things. I assumed it was because we were to be visiting his family out of state. He said that I needed to start packing my things because he had movers scheduled to get my belongings after Christmas, and I needed to be completely out by the new year. What? Yeah, just get out. Just get the fuck out. And this is a guy working for your parents? Wow. Funding him to do this. Your parents gave him the means to leave you for another woman, okay? And kick you out of your own house. I hope your parents are dying alone. I hope they die alone. I hope you've already cut them out. Panic, I checked, and our accounts and savings had been wiped out. My ex-husband had written checks to his family as personal gifts from our savings to hide assets. His mother and sister-in-law had visited on an afternoon when I was at work, and wedding gifts of value were also gone. My parents, also knowing all of this, still allow him to stick around. He was even an honored guest at my sister's wedding years later. I was told to just be cordial and ignore him. After my separation and divorce to my first husband, any other man I brought around wasn't good enough unless they were a complete asshole. It's actually a joke now that if my parents approved of someone, that it's the litmus test as someone that should not be trusted. That brings me to my... Wait, you're still talking to your parents, right? Okay. This brings me to my current husband. My husband is a real winner, achiever, and a combat vet American hero. He adopted his ex-wife's children after their bio dad ducked out, and he's a great father to our son. I thought my parents would love him since they are wrapped up in status, and my husband spent his career in special operations. I couldn't have been more wrong. First of all, my husband is a living lie detector. He had my mother pegged from the first day they met. Secondly, my husband has a zero tolerance policy for bullshit and catering to anyone's egos and feelings. He shoots from the hip and tells it like it is. My mother did everything she could to try to get me to break up with him. She said she knew what combat vets are like, and that at best he'd cheat on me constantly, and at worst he'd beat me to death. You mean like my first husband who left me for another woman and you kept him employed? Cleared out our bank accounts, made me move out of the house, and continued to pay his salary, right? She lamented that he's a killer, and killers coming back from overseas cannot be changed. They're bad dogs that need to be locked up or put down for the safety of society. She's probably talking about herself. My mother banned all family from attending my 30th birthday party because he was going to be there. My mother has a history of ruining big birthdays for me, by the way. 13th, 16th, 18th, and 21st. Yep. Birthdays are always ruined for me. Always. That's why I hate them. Anyway, when we got engaged, she got very serious and suggested that if I needed to get married again, I should look no further than my ex-husband because he's matured and the family loves him. Of course, I married the winner that loves me. I overheard her running her mouth at our wedding. All nasty stuff about he hates her and I'm doomed to a life of domestic violence. I hope as a wedding gift they replenished the money your ex-husband stole from you. Huh? Probably not, though, right? Probably not. At the brunch after our wedding, she took my husband outside for a cigarette and told him how things were going to be from now on, that she's the family matriarch. My husband was seething with anger, but respectfully refused to kiss her ring. For weeks after it was radio silence, and out of nowhere I'd get these threatening phone calls from my mother. She would scream and howl about how weak I was to submit to a beastly man. He was going to kill me and my family because killing in war is all he knows. I had put everyone in danger by marrying my husband. I wasn't protecting my family like a dutiful daughter. Anytime the phone rang or my text alert went off, my heart would drop, fearing it was her. Now that I've moved states away, she doesn't have access to her grandson, as she is more ubiquitous. She lies and says she always liked my husband, but he's never warmed to her because she's the victim of bad press. My fault as always. However, she'd never say any of those horrible things to my husband's face. That's the thing I noticed with her after watching your videos. People like that will hardly say the very truly vile things and act naturally in front of the child's spouse that they truly fear with show. Truly fear they. Hold on. The thing that I noticed with her after watching your videos, people like that will hardly ever say the truly vile things and act naturally in front of the child's spouse that they truly fear with show them the truth. So that's not really... I'm trying to figure this out. I'm sorry, Yeah, people truly they'll hardly say the vile things. See, that's the thing difference with my mother. My mother will say the vile things because she has no fucking filter. And don't think your mother has much one either. Don't think when you're not around, your mother's not saying these vile things. Don't think she can control herself ever. She can. She can. Anyway, that's enough pain for today. I have plenty more content for another day. Thank you again, Ollie, Southern lady. You know, does your ex-husband still work for them? I mean, you need to, listen, you need to go back. And I know this might sound even pettier since you're remarried to a guy you're really happy with. You need to cut them off completely. Completely. You're nothing more than a business decision to them. That's all you are. That's all you were, was a business decision. Your ex-husband's clients were more important than you. And then they figured, well, if it didn't work out with the girl he left my daughter with, here, go back for some fucking sloppy seconds, okay, because he's so good with the client. You are nothing more than a business asset. You're just a business asset in her mind. Cut her off. Cut them off completely. And you can let her know why, okay? You know what? I should have done this fucking 2 decades ago or whenever this first marriage went down, okay, from that point. And that's it. Who does that? Narcissists. That's who. Narcissists like your parents and my parents. You're letting your dad off the hook. Where's your dad in all this, by the way? It's a family business, isn't it not? You asked your father, he knew, right? Right? Again, this could be another example of your father being more dangerous than your mother. Your mother's outwardly aggressive, outwardly borderline, outwardly crazy, and your father allows it all to happen. It's his business, right? So who's really making the business decision here? So, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for another contribution and story, Southern Lady. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comments section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, successful, and growing, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you guys. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads, kind of. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.